across this country. Look at all the 8-year-olds in this country.
Parents a choice, autonomy, a decision-making over how they want autonomy.
Is Donald Trump's age catching up with him? The 80-year-old U.S. president has once again been accused of nodding off during a public White House event, reigniting brutal questions about his health, stamina, and ability to stay alert on the job.
Difficult to answer otherwise. If you come to an answer that links autism to
Trump was filmed with his eyes closed and appearing drowsy during a ceremony on August 10th, as officials discussed his controversial new childhood vaccine policy, and critics wasted no time turning the moment against him. "Wake up, sleepy Trump," one mocked, reviving Trump's old nickname for Joe Biden. Others accused him of falling asleep on the job, while memes questioned whether the president is now struggling to stay awake at public appearances. The White House event was supposed to be about Trump's executive order reshaping childhood vaccine recommendations. Instead, once again, the cameras were focused on Trump's eyes. One post declared, "Donald Trump has just lost consciousness behind RFK in the Oval Office. He is fast asleep." Another mocked, "Haha, remember when he was making fun of Biden and calling him Sleepy Joe? Wake up, Sleepy Trump." Others piled on with jokes about the president needing to schedule everything around nappy time. One critic wrote that Trump was falling asleep yet again, while another claimed he was falling asleep on the job nearly every day. But not everyone agreed with that interpretation. Some suggested Trump may simply have been resting his eyes during the lengthy discussion. Still, the footage quickly became a target for critics already questioning Trump's alertness and stamina at public events. But the footage has once again put his age and presidential stamina firmly under the microscope.
Today's a historic day for public health in this country. The executive order recognizes the plight of millions of parents across the country with autistic children. Autism is a very complicated condition with very heterogeneous, ranging from relatively mild symptoms where kids are full functioning to a devastating condition that fundamentally alters their lives and the lives of their families. You've heard from Secretary Kennedy and from the President their passion for the plight of these families, to see how we can help them understand the condition, to help prevent those conditions from happening in the first place. And what this executive order does is it orders us at HHS to take this extremely seriously, as we have been for the last year and a half and more of the presidency. At the NIH, what we've done is we have established the Autism Data Science Initiative, which started almost a year more, actually more than a year ago, where we funded a dozen and more major research teams to answer the question of what is the cause of autism. It's a complicated biological phenomenon. It's not going to be a simple answer. It will have, as the Secretary said, potentially genetic predisposition, but that cannot possibly explain why we've seen such a large rise in autism. There must be some other environmental factors involved, and that's the basis for thinking that's driving these dozen and more research teams that are looking at this. The science takes time. It's very frustrating, and I know I felt that frustration myself. As a scientist, you don't get answers immediately, but the teams have been working assiduously for a year. And the main thing I want to emphasize that we've already accomplished in that year is we've changed how people and the scientific community thinks about autism. You've given them permission to ask the question that would otherwise have been difficult to answer otherwise. If you come to an answer that links autism to some other politically correct things, and you all of a sudden have this link, as a scientist, you fear that your career is going to be over. What we've done in this administration is we've given permission to scientists to honestly answer this question, to find the link for the first time. And with the change in the vaccine recommendations that the President has signed, what you have given is parents a choice, autonomy, a decision-making over how they want the vaccines given to their kids. I believe fundamentally that many vaccines are important. I've said measles, for instance, the measles vaccine is important if we want to take control of the measles outbreak. But at the same time, we shouldn't be keeping kids out of school because they have made different decisions than other parents. Our European colleagues don't do that. A lot of the collapse in trust in public health has come because of these mandates that we've seen imposed during the Biden administration on the COVID vaccine and so many other things. What this does is it restores autonomy of families and parents to make good decisions for their kids. It allows and continues to emphasize the importance of science in recommendations about vaccines, and fundamentally restores a sort of a healthy relationship between public health and parents, more in line with what happens in European countries than in the United States, where the childhood outcomes are often much better than we see here. It's a big first step that and that builds on what we've been working on the last year and a half toward a more sane public health system that sees healthy kids grow up without pressure, without undue influence, to make good decisions for their families and for their kids.
Thank you, Jay. Steve, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. Because of your courage and leadership, Mr. President, millions of parents all over America today are breathing an enormous sigh of relief. I say this as the parent of young children myself. Millions and millions of parents feel they've been pressured when their children are just weeks out of the hospital